Hey guys, welcome to my video. So I'm hoping to at least make a video every day. And whether I post it or not, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to just start off, like I shared in my last video, just refusing to remain silent and um, saying what needs to be said, even if it might ruffle feathers, even if it breaks down systems, which is the hope, even if it causes me. Um, yeah, because it's something about being mediocre that no longer sits well and should never sit well. I think the goal for all of us is to always become our best. And I realized that for me, becoming the best might look painful, it might look rough, it might be serious, stern, and all these other things, right? But I really, I really want to tackle areas where I've been spaces that I've been in and how like these systems of oppression kept me in these spaces and how moving away from it through the power, really it's the power of Jesus, moving away from it with the power of Jesus, what it's shown me now, and hopefully just speak light and life into these situations. And to many people who know, I made music, I still do, but I say made just because it's kind of a difference between what I did before and what I'm hoping to do now and what I am doing now, right? So I made music, and for the most part, I've I've gotten to the place now where I've been able to ask myself some key questions, and those questions center on like, why do I make music? And it's not just because I can sing, it's not just because I love to sing, but it's like, what are the practical reasons why I would sing? What are the practical reasons why I make music? Or why I just, like I said, I sing and I let that voice out. And one of the reasons, I came up with about 3 reasons or so after reflecting, meditation, and just asking God to like put these questions on my heart so that I could think of them more deeply. One of them was to be seen or to be known, right? So it could be in the sense that if I'm going to, or to be heard, not known, to be heard. So it's something like if I'm entering an area or like I want to go to the bathroom or I'm not sure if someone's in there, I'd sing to just let someone know that I'm coming in that direction, right? And that was one reason I sang, was just to make my presence like, hey, I'm here. Rather than actually saying, hey, I'm here, I would just sing a lyric or sing whatnot. And there were times when another reason is purely on expression. And that's one of the main things that really has made me just stop and think that that's not a good reason at all. And not just that, but it's made me think more deeply, which I always speak on, which is the critical consumption of the stuff that we take in, especially music. And one of the reasons, like I was saying, was expression, right? And the expression is while I'm making my music, when I'm singing my song and I'm writing my lyrics and I'm coming up with my flow and I'm doing all of these things, I'm expressing who I am. I am literally showing you through music, through lyrics, through flow, through the way I say something, I guess you'd call it intonation, through all these different things in the music. I am showing you and I am expressing who I am, right? And one thing that it brought to light for me was that if I if I am to make music solely for expression, that's such a rocky foundation. That's so fickle. That's so scary, right? Because we change. We change. We as humans, the hope is that we will change. And you see that so many times, like an artist's music changes, right? And so for me, I realized that okay, I cannot simply make music for expression because one, I am changing and I always change and I always will change. And if you don't see a change in an artist's music, that means they're not changing. That means they're stagnant, and that's not good, right? Because stagnancy is like the enemy of growth, right? You have to continuously change to grow. And the other thing I realized is that I'm not that interesting. And I think for me, that's one of the things that convicted me, is that it would be a lie for me to just sit here and always make music solely on expression, to think that I'm so interesting, because I'm not that interesting, right? And when I say I am speaking for artists in general, and how we perceive artists, and how it is in the mind of an artist. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this way. I know it's something like you really have to take a moment to be intentional about what you do and why you do what you do, right? And so it's like, if I have to put myself in that position where I'm always speaking from expression, and I'm always saying this about myself or whatnot, I'm being prideful. I am being prideful because I'm not that interested. And I know there are days when I don't even want to get out of bed. So why am I over here in all of my music making myself seem, this way, or like only putting out this aspect of myself for you? Now, this comes into play for us as persons who consume, us as the people, when literally the music that we consume are people who make and create solely based on expression, solely based on what I feel. And if we are to go about our feelings, like, we can never truly be in control of ourselves. We cannot have self-control or self-discipline if we're going based on our feelings, right? And so, it really makes me ask again, like, why are we not more critical with the type of music that we consume? And I'm talking about, the music that brags a lifestyle that, after a certain age, that you get over, that you no longer want. Music that really, like, it just questions, like, who am I? Why am I here? Am I even worth something? And like I said before, I'm tired of being under the guise of saying this is just creative expression, because it's really not. It's taken away from your soul. It's taking away the life force within you. And what it does is that it just distances you more from the truth, because your ear can no longer hear truth. Your ear has been trained, and you're constantly training yourself and solidifying in yourself that this is who I am. And you find that some people, they don't even listen to a variety of different types of music. People might say they love music, but really they just love music that slanders them, or they love music that feeds an ego, or they like music that feeds a vice, or music that makes them come up with an excuse that this is just who I am, this is just how I am. And that's not true, you know? And, it's something I really think when we begin speaking about, like, being free, being liberated, freeing ourselves from oppression, that is something that we need to consider as well. You cannot be free socially, you cannot be free out there if you're not free in here. If the music you listen to is talking down on you, what makes you think that for some reason, in some way, that's beneficial to your soul and your spirit? If you're speaking death through music, what makes you think that you will see life? If you listen into things that are basically speaking death to you, what makes you think that you have a positive outlook on life? You know? And when I speak of death, I'm speaking about not just physical death, but death of self, death of your soul. And I know there are some people, sometimes they go out and they don't even feel a vibe anymore. I know some people, and obviously we can't go out right now because of what's going on, but I know some people, like, I know you're listening to the music, and after a while you just get, like, everything just becomes distasteful, and you don't even want to listen to music anymore. But you don't have an escape, you don't know what it is, so you just, like, ride it, like, okay, this is just how I feel or whatnot. And it's like you're in this kind of tie up, you're in this kind of space of confusion, of indifference, of annoyance, like you're agitated and all of this. It's because of the music. Music is such a powerful tool. Music is a weapon. Honestly, music is a weapon. There's persons who listen to music right before they're about to go commit violent acts just to get them in the mood. Why do you think mostly anywhere you go, music is present? Anywhere, music is present. Coffee shop, library, well, not library, but coffee shop, bus, your phone is a ringtone, that's music. Everything, like you cannot spend one day without hearing some sort of music, you know? And so I really, as someone who used to make the music that I did, I really want to encourage persons to be very careful and very mindful of the music that you are consuming. Because I think to artists, the thing about people who make music, and like I was saying about that whole self-expression, they're expressing what they want in their lives. Like they're not making music with a consciousness or with a reasoning that I am trying to set a people free. They're going after the money, they're going after the fame, they're going after like the fortune, they're going after the thing they think will fill the void in their hearts or in their own souls, and that's what they're singing about, you know. And it's up to you as the person consuming it to be aware of that, because they're after their own thing, and they're gonna get it by any means necessary. But are you gonna get it by any means necessary? Are you going to get to the point where you overstand to understand that literally you have to draw the line at some point? You have to, you know. It's a step. And there's a quote by Albert Einstein. I love that quote. It says, and I'm gonna just summarize it, but to do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome is insanity. So if you're in these place, or if you're in this place of depression, in this place of broken relationships, of toxic cycles, of alcoholism, of whatever it is, and you're doing the same thing, you're listening to the same artists, the same music, exposing yourself to the same people and all of that stuff, like you are literally functioning in insanity. And there's so much more out there. There is so much more out there, people. I take days where I decide, okay, today I'm going to look for music. And I look for stuff that's going to speak to my soul. And there's so much more out there. But you have to approach it. You have to approach yourself. You have to approach this time. You have to approach the world like, no, like, I am fighting for my mind. I am fighting for my sanity. I am fighting for my higher self. I am fighting to reach the destiny that God had already planned for me. I am fighting to see the light. Because we live in a fallen world, people. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to fight for it. It's foolish to think that you could just sit around and expect the world to heal you. It's foolish to expect that the same systems that broke you could fix you. So the same artist who you probably listen to get into a relationship or some situationship, how could you expect that same artist could put out a song or whatnot? And I'm just using like a very small example. But how do you expect that same artist or that same thought, that same pattern, that same culture could allow you to really find love? Like these words don't even exist in certain aspects or spheres when it comes to artists and all these other stuff. Like people, there's just so much more out there. So just be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. Be on guard. Bless.